Hey, juniors. So apparently Google Classroom doesn't love audio by itself, so I'm just going to go back to some videos, but I am going to keep it short. Don't you worry. I'm watching the clock right here. 1 minute plus per canto. That's my goal. So I got my notes here. We're going to look from Canto 27 to Canto 30. That is Wednesday's reading homework. So just a few brief things to say, things you can look for in each of these cantos. All right, Canto 27. Definitely the highlight is a guy named Montefeltro here. And his story is actually a really compelling story because he seems to have tried to pull out of his life of sin. His sin is that he is a false counselor, which means he basically is a master of deception. He's a master of trickery, and he knows how to win wars, but he knows how to win them in all the wrong ways. So he's kind of like a double agent, maybe even is a good way of describing him. He tries to pull out, and then the Pope comes along and says, "I need you one last time. I need you, like one last trick of yours." And the guy says, "No, no, no, I'm not going to do it." And the Pope comes and says, "I will absolve you as soon as you say it." And then the guy says, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it." But then he comes to find out that actually his greatest act of deception was to deceive himself, because when he dies, he sees Saint Francis coming here and about to get him, and then this devil swoops in and says, Francis, you forgot your logic. You can't will something and then repent of it at the same time. Law of non-contradiction. And so Montefeltro heads on down. Now in 28, we're going to meet Muhammad, the founder of Islam, as well as his son Ali. And they are not being punished for heresy. They're not being punished for apostasy. They're being punished as schismatics. That meant they divided people against each other. And I guess one way of looking at it is that they divided worshippers of God, because Islam really did grow out of the seed, many different seeds, many religions. And so the Kaaba, is that what it's called? Don't quote me on that. You know the box that I'm thinking of in Mecca. That box originally had all kinds of like icons and idols and little things in it. And really what Muhammad did was kind of took this all together. A lot of Christianity, a lot of Judaism, but took a lot of stuff and brought it all together. Out of it grew this new religion. And he's being punished for that. Again, contrapasso style, by being split top to all the way down his tummy, really. And he kind of walks around like that, then he heals, and then somebody comes and hits him again. Another schismatic guy named Bertrand, who you wouldn't know him, I don't know him, but he carries his head around. He's been separated. So that's a contrapasso punishment. And funny enough, that's actually where we get the word contrapasso. It's right there in the Italiano, contrapasso. Okay, so you can actually find that at the end of Canto 28. All right, so look in the Italian there just for a little fun. Okay, now Canto 29. In Canto 29, Dante gets reprimanded. He's going to get hit again in Canto 30. So what's going on is Virgil is getting a little bit antsy, because Virgil realizes that time is growing short. They've got to get Dante out of here. Apparently he's got a schedule, and he doesn't have more than 24 hours, and so it's really cutting it close. He says the moon is under our feet, meaning that you're over halfway there, and you've got to get out of here. So he basically just like eggs Dante on. In Canto 29 says, "Get a move on." Now Dante says, "Come on, man. I think I just saw one of my cousins over there." And so this is the first time Dante's actually seen a family member in hell. But Dante doesn't actually seem that perturbed by it, which maybe shows that he's kind of maturing as he goes further down. He feels a little pity, but he talks very casually about the family member. Now, the other people we see in 29 are basically quacks, people that hawk snake oil and that kind of thing. Think of today, people who make outlandish claims for like essential oils. I mean, like, essential oils smell great. I love them, and I love it. My Miss Fanning's always blasting that stuff in the Oracle back in the days. But anyway, I don't think it's gonna heal my like asthma. I don't think it's gonna like make me immune to the coronavirus. And but some people would say crazy things like that. Some people say, well, if you eat silver, and then it can cure you all these things. So anyway, those people, Dante has a no tolerance for them. He calls them falsifiers. They are downhill, and ironically, they are suffering leprosy. They have those who claim to cure now have the incurable disease. Okay, we're almost done here. The last canto that we're going to read is Canto 30. These are the imposters, people who pretend to be one person while they're being another. So they're in real trouble. They pretend to be honest people and gain the trust of others, and then trick them, right? And that's like one step away from like the worst ones who are going to actually use their own friendships to betray their friends. Okay, Judas Iscariot, right? Well, the chief one you'll recognize here is a guy named Sinon, whom we read about in the Aeneid. He is the guy who convinced the Trojans to let that horse in because he pretended to be an exile from the Greek camp. And he especially, remember we talked about this probably, he really broke the rules when he invoked the gods. He just, like all the gods, he made up stories about, Athena and all these other kind of crazy things. And he basically used the gods to trick the Trojans into taking the horse in, and that got him way down in the gut of hell. Now, at the very end here, Dante lingers a little too long, and you should pay close attention to that reprimand. Virgil gets on this man's case, and he basically says, like, hey, this isn't entertainment. This isn't WWE WrestleMania 5, He's like, you can't sit around and watch these people. You're supposed to learn from them and move on. And Dante's like, sorry. Okay, well, that's it for today. Enjoy your reading. I hope to talk to you soon.